What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me with Buzzing with Marlo live, live, live. I'll say it again, live. I hope everybody's doing well. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. It is Friday. Friday. It's been a crazy week, man. It's been a crazy week. What a week. What a day. And thank the Lord it's Friday. Even though y'all's week is stopping, my week's about to begin. Obviously, y'all know I work the weekends and on Mondays. So my week starts. Y'all's is in it. So Matt, a round of applause, y'all. Y'all have earned it. Guys, if you haven't, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our pages, y'all. Like and share and subscribe. Like, that's how we grow, man. That's how we grow. I cannot complain, guys. I mean, I hope everybody, man, and also give us those follows on all our social media accounts, including YouTube, Twitch. We're doing really heckly great on Twitch, guys. Round of applause to y'all. I mean, that is still something new to me. And guys, I just wanted to let everybody know about the Twitch account. If you are behind on any Buzzing with Marlo episode, I put new episodes out. I put not new episodes. I put the episodes that I've had in the past all on Twitch. I mean, I literally do a whole marathon every single day, and it's just a new episode every single time in order and stuff. So, guys, if you like Twitch and if that's the way you like to follow these episodes and just your podcast or anything, go to my Twitch account, to the Buzzing with Marlo Twitch, and it is there. You can watch episode after another. Um, Guys, I want to simply say thank y'all. This has been an amazing ride. YouTube, give a round of applause. We are over 120 subscribers on YouTube's guy. That is mind blowing to me. Mind blowing. Oh my lord, it's been a hassle. I mean, we have only been on YouTube still only 4 months, and for us to grow that much, man, it's just amazing. Now I know we're gonna keep climbing. We're gonna keep going. That's one thing I've always learned just from everything I've done in the past is all you can do is go up. When you start going down, that's when you have to start questioning and figuring out, hey, what do we need to do to get back up there? But guys, I simply am so happy about with the results that we're doing with everything. Also with Facebook, Facebook we hit over 1.9K in 3 days on the episode with Lucy Bandit, guys. Give a round of applause to yourself. Thank y'all. And shout out to Lucy Bandit, man. Like, that was an awesome episode. And, man, I'm looking forward to seeing her upcoming film coming up this summer. And maybe she'll be in a Marvel film in an upcoming future because her future is really bright. Also, guys, if you haven't, check out my recent episode with Andrea Mason, motivational speaker, so much positive messages that she had given for something that the life that she's had for her to be the person that she is, man. It's just an amazing, amazing thing, guys. Go if y'all need to, man, go follow these people. Go see their journey to success because all these people are literally going to be difference makers in the future, especially Lucy. Lucy just really starting out in acting, so this is going to be a big thing for her. Also, guys, major shout out to everyone who attended Night in Harlem with my boy Jay Lyric and all the great artists that were there in Jacksonville, Florida, guys. That was a major, 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 major turnout, man. That was amazing. Um, I had such a blast. It was so cool. Interacting with everyone and finding out how many people really were listening to Buzzing with Marlo before we did the event. That is just even mind blowing. It was really awesome, man. It was definitely one of those when you're on cloud nine moments because man, shout out to Jay Lyric, all the great performers that performed, all the guys that took time to come out and come to our platform, talk to us on the podcast for a good 20 to 30 minutes. I mean, shout out to all of them, man. Shout out to Jay Lyric and his crew because they gave us the opportunity to do something like that. That was just a beautiful thing. Guys, if y'all haven't, go check out that episode, man, because I did not post a Buzzing with Marlo episode that week because it was on a Friday. That was going to be the episode. One Night in Harlem concert. That was the first time we've ever done a live episode like that. And it was just a really beautiful thing. It was a great turnout. VIP was sold out not even 2 weeks before the show even started. So that was even more amazing. Jay Lyric was selling out so many tickets right off the rip, so he actually gave a discounted price. Instead of paying $20 for a ticket, he went down to 15, guys. $15. That was amazing, and man, the turnout was just it was just amazing. An awesome thing, and I'm hoping to do more events like that in the near future, but man, as that March 4th will always be remembered as a really awesome moment for Buzzing with Marlo. But guys, I hope everybody is ready. I know everybody's excited for this guest. I know they wonder who we got this week. Everybody, the one thing I did get asked at the concert was, how are you doing this? How are you getting newer guests every single week and it's a different topic? It's nothing same. Nothing literally exactly the same. You could even have two guys that were from that one back story or one background that they had, and it'd be a whole different story for both sections. That was one cool thing, and I just had a grin. I was like, man, it's just I'm very blessed. I'm very glad to have what I have. I'm very driven to the guests that I have. I literally push my heart and soul into everything I do on these episodes. And I mean, guys, today is not going to be another. This one definitely won't disappoint y'all, guys. I got a great episode for y'all today. Today I'm joined with Jon Sansone, guys. This man is a sales warrior. I mean, this guy has been doing stuff with electronics for many years. I mean, this guy's got so many experiences. And guys, this man's read over 100 biographies. 100. Like, holy moly. You know how much knowledge you can find in biographies? How much knowledge you can find in just 100 books and stuff like that? Man, guys, I'm looking forward to this. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Also, before, guys, we get started, I know y'all ready. I know. Just pipe down. But, guys, also check out our Bonfire store. We've got new merch coming out. I am starting a new campaign right in March. Literally, we're gonna bring up some new tank tops. That's right, guys. There are gonna be so many different colors, and we're also this is gonna be the best special part, knowing that my son has special needs and he is on the autism spectrum. I am actually doing a big charity thing for autism. It's gonna be called Fighting with Autism. Um, Actually, I brought my character back, American Project. We're going to be called the Prodigy Strong, Autism, and literally, guys, $5 to $10 of every purchase that you do. It usually goes to tip wise to the podcast. That's going into to autism awareness thing because I mean, it's a beautiful thing. These kids are amazing, um, gifted in so many different ways. Like my son loves loves everything about a fan. And if you can put a fan into math problems and stuff, my son will make it 100 easily. If it ain't with a fan or anything, my son ain't gonna care. He might not. He might write his number, I mean his name on the paper, but that'll be it. He's not gonna care. But guys, I'm doing a campaign to basically help bring out an awareness, and I'm actually having newer stuff coming up in the upcoming of that month just before the season ending of season 3 for Buzzing with Marlo. So y'all stay tuned to that. I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting. I can't wait till when we have some major announcements about it. But guys, when the countdown goes to 30 to 1, I will be joined with my guest, Jon Sansone. And are y'all ready? Are you ready now? What about now? Because guess what, guys? The countdown starts right now. All right, guys, I am joined with the one and only Jon, the sales warrior, Jon Sansone. How are you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Rock and roll to all your listeners out there,
Yes,
Marlo,
sir,
man.
man. Where are you currently held at, man?
I am down in Dallas, Texas.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh
Not too
man.
far from you, brother.
Oh no, not at all, man. You a Cowboys fan, aren't you?
Ah, yes, absolutely, absolutely,
I'm
man.
a Jag, so y'all make playoffs. Hey, we can't win more than 4 games in 2 seasons, so I have nothing to
No,
say.
man, it's all good, brother. It is all good.
Hey, John. I appreciate you doing this, man.
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about yourself, bud.
yeah. So I've been professionally selling for 32 years. I started out, had my own lawn business for a while, and then I went into manufacturing sales for like 5 years. I spent about 8 years in technology sales, hardware, software, and have been in professional consulting now for 17 years. So add it all up, it's 32 years of professional sales. And man, I can tell you, Marlo, I'm not burned out, man. I'm more inspired.
Yeah, I love it. I love that energy right there, man, because I I'm starting to realize I'm getting a little bit older. I mean, I had to shave completely because the gray is showing nowadays, and it's like I ain't there yet. I don't feel that mindset yet, but it's like I always was so stubborn to say no. Like me being told I can't do something, it just fires me up even more. Like there's something that could be very outrageous. And I'm like, nah, you ain't telling me that. Let me research it out and I'll figure that out. I'll try this. And now sometimes it's kicking me in my butt, especially when it comes to sports performance wise, because it's like, I am kind of slowing down a little bit. I ain't slowing down too much, but I am slowing down a little bit. And it's like, we got to reevaluate this. I ain't ready for this yet. No, 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 no. I love
Exactly.
that, man. I love that attitude, man. That just tells you like you're more fired up. That means that you're not content. You're challenged. You are very competitive in ways that's a beautiful thing to have.
Yeah, man, it's the warrior attitude. Like I came up with
Mm-hmm.
this concept when I was putting together my motivational business, Marlo,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, sales warrior. Like most people, when they think of a salesman or salesperson, you think of the guy at the used car lot, and there's nothing wrong with that,
Mm-hmm.
or the guy at the brand
The
new car
robot
lot.
voice.
Yeah, or you think about like, a telemarketer. It has like all the worst connotations.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth of the matter is, if you're not CEO, director, or, a big wig in a major corporation, the salespeople make the most money, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if you're, middle management, most salespeople make more money than middle management. And some salespeople make more than upper management.
Yep. You're right about
So,
that.
so and this is kind of like mind expanding for a lot of people, but if you think about business, the concept of business, Marlo, you
Mm-hmm.
can't have business before you have a sale. If
Right.
somebody doesn't buy something, there's no business that's gone on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a charitable exchange of information, but it's not business until somebody buys something for money.
That's the only thing that sucks too, man. You're only getting paid if you sell something. Like that. That's the only downfall about those gigs. It's like, oh man, I need to sell at least 2 products today. Got the mortgage coming out soon, man. I gotta sell something. Car
Yeah.
payment coming, just like those little things in your head. It's just like, what can I do to get this to go? So, what made you stand out compared to like how like you said with salespeople and stuff like that? What were some of the strategies that you did to help people realize, you know what? I can listen to this guy. I could listen to this guy. I could relate to what he's talking about, and I'm not bored with it. I'm not sitting there thinking this is a scam or anything like that. Like I'm really interested to find out what this guy has to offer.
One, I think I'm pretty down to earth, Marlo,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot more to me than just teaching people to professionally sell. I think
Right.
too, I can teach people how to be happier, and
Mm-hmm.
and I can teach people to like learn to manage their emotions better, so they can
Mm-hmm.
be happier.
Right.
Um, and two, man, like I got a background in rock and roll. Like that's a big part of my life is music, and you can see my Zildjian hat, Zildjian cymbals, and music is my passion. I
Mm-hmm.
do my motivational work and my other work to make money, but man, music is my passion. And
It's
and
your
when you're
release zone,
passionate,
basically.
what's that?
I said it's your release, basically. It helps you calm
Yeah,
yourself, and it actually makes you comfortable, makes you stable, because sometimes you just need that refresher in ways.
you can't fake passion. You can't fake uh, authentic passion for what you do. And I think that's why I've been so successful with customers, because I'm authentic. They know what they
Mm-hmm.
get when they get me. And I mean, I've had customers choose me over other salespeople because they just wanted to work with me. And,
Right.
and, and I think that's the thing that like most companies don't teach. You know, they teach a process, but they don't teach people how to sell themselves to the prospect.
Right. Everybody's got a different strategy. Like how like I work at a warehouse and stuff like that. We got these guys that are sitting here trying to teach these guys how to order fill. And I literally blatantly tell them like, man, they gotta learn their own way to do it. Like if you just learn that one way, it's kind of like you get lost. Like I use a reference a lot is when I talk
Mhm.
about wrestling. When we
Yeah.
talk about wrestling styles or how to call stuff in a mat, I'm in a ring. If you have a match that goes before you that doing certain moves, then obviously you're not gonna do those exact same moves when it's your match because it's just like the crowd's like, we've already seen this. Like, why'd you even come out here if you're gonna do the exact same thing that they're doing? Like, you gotta change something with it. You gotta have a little bit of a different flair with it. I think that's the best way to put it. Different flair into that type of style of a match. So like I love how you sit here and say like you have to like teach them their own way to processing succeed because it is no such thing as a one way. It's like anything, like workout, reading, teaching how to do math. Like I know we're not the only people in school that literally was like, just teachers doing this on the board is not helping me do this. Like
Right.
I need to do this myself. I need to figure this how to do it. Johnny's counting this on his fingers. Abel's over here counting it based off his calculator or something. Like there's just different ways to do products. And we can never just teach somebody how to do one way. There's no such thing as a one way to anything in ways.
Exactly. And you know, so my concept, Marlo, a
Mm-hmm.
warrior is somebody that like gets back up,
Yep.
like and is proud of what they're doing. Like a lot of people that have sales jobs, I don't know if they're really understand like how important their job is. They know they
Mm-hmm.
can make a good living at it, but do they really understand like without good sales warriors, business can't keep going. Like
Right.
everything you and I are doing right now all happened because of a sales guy. Like the
Yep.
laptop that I'm on right now, some guy sold the fire, the chipset or whatever that went inside my laptop. Some guy made a big amount of commission to sell all this to, it's a Dell, mine's a Dell laptop,
Mm-hmm.
in the memory that goes in it. And, the desk that I'm using, some guy sold
So
that to
weird thinking
Walmart
that.
in order for them
So
to buy
weird thinking
that.
that.
Everything that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis has come together because of salespeople
Right.
and the massive, transportation guys that risk their lives to get this stuff to us too. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the thing. Like, if you really respect what other people do for a living, you can respect what you do for a living.
Absolutely. I
And
agree with
and
you on that.
and it happens like when you get respect for yourself, it's not hard to sell yourself. And
Yep.
that's what people don't really get to learn. Like when you're in high school, even in like college, they don't teach you how to sell yourself to somebody else. Really, most of us, the best thing that we can relate to in like sales is dating, right?
Yep.
Like you
I
got to
like that. I like that metaphor. Yeah.
like
You're
you got to
you're
win that
dead
girl
on right
over,
that.
and you got to win
You
that guy over, and whatever. And that's how you get friends too. Like you got to sell yourself to your friend set. You got to sell
Mhm.
yourself to your significant other. And but like most sales organizations don't teach the art. It's an art, man. Just like when you're in the ring, and yeah, sure, there's rudimentaries about how you flip somebody and how you do this, but there's ways where the crowd goes wild, and there's ways where the crowd doesn't go wild,
Mhm.
and there's a difference. One of them will pack seats, and the other just happens and nobody cares.
They just boo you.
Yeah, yeah, and people vote for salespeople by their dollars. When people spend money with you, you know you're a good salesperson. And like me, I've been doing it 32 years. Lots of people over the years have spent a lot of money with me.
Mhm.
So like, you hear this term. I don't really completely agree with this term, but you hear this term out there, and it's used in self-help called the imposter syndrome.
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
I'm going to say that's a worthless term, and that would probably get a lot of people like really up in arms. But I have my opinions about things, and it doesn't benefit you at all to say I have the imposter syndrome. Yeah. What benefits you instead is to say I don't have the highest self-confidence. What can I do to improve my self-confidence? What can I do to be a bigger me? Like you, like what did you do so that you could get out and flip people and, do all the acrobatic stuff that you did? You got in the gym and you worked out, man, and you got in state before a match and you got in your head and you saw it happen before it happened.
Right.
And that same like excitement that you bring into sports, that you have to bring into sports, man, because all the eyes are on you. People need to take that into business and they'll be more successful. Like most people are so bottomed up, they're so they're trying to sell, but they're acting like an accountant. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody acts like they need a handout nowadays. Everybody acts like there's got to be a pill or something that's got to help them breeze on, basically. Like literally everybody's not got that. I use this reference a lot. No one has that dog mentality anymore. Like it kicks me in my butt a lot. Man, I'm 30 years old and I still, in my mind, I'm still that 20-year-old man that literally just got out of playing a college level basketball level, and you can't tell me nothing. You could not tell me you could outwork me in the gym. And like people could sit here and say, hey, I outbench you, out squat you, but I'm like, you couldn't outwork me. Like I will tell that, I'll look somebody straight dead in their eyes in this gym thing right now. There was not that many guys that could outwork me. I could work my job 15 hours, go straight to the gym, spend another 2 hours in there, maybe get 2 to 3 hours of sleep, hang out with my daughter for a little bit. I would look forward to that nap time. Let me tell you what. But other than that, like be a dad, do what I needed to do, be that husband card, like do what your needs are, and then go back and do it all over again. Like I told people, I hate the excuses. Oh, I don't have enough time and stuff like that. That's one reason why I had to stop being a personal trainer at the time, because I was just like, man, I'm encouraging you to be. I don't know if what's the best word? Oh, lazy. I think that's just the best word for it. Like literally, it's just I can't. I was encouraging you to be lazy because the way they were telling me I had to sell to the audience to bring clients in, it's like, oh, it's okay if you sleep in until 12, drink your Cokes, eat McDonald's before you come to the gym. Yeah, it's okay to do all that. Yeah, no problem. But you come in, I do my work with you, and then you just gonna repeat and do all this again. Go in a month straight, and you feel like, hey, you're wondering why you're gaining more weight and why you're feeling so sluggish. Maybe that McDonald's you ate that week, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Oh, I offended you? I'm sorry. All right, here's my resume, blah, blah, blah. That was like how I felt every time doing personal training in ways, because I felt like, in ways, I didn't even charge people. That was the people that never understood. Like, I didn't charge you the first visit because I wanted to see where your mentality was coming out. Right. And I didn't even start. The thing that got me badly is because I never started them on weights when they first started. Like, you would get the balancing ball, and I would have you lean against the wall. And they would be upset, like, I need to learn how to do squats. Do this. Hold it, slide back and forth and down. Hold it as much as you can, pop right back up. And one person I had, I can't say the person's name, but good Lord, they drove me nuts. But literally would whine the whole session. I did a minimum of 30 minutes because this person was just too much, and it was just complaining nonstop. Like, and that person would literally keep doing it. It's like, this is so stupid. My legs are about to burst. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, keep doing it. Just watch. And literally right before the ending of the session, I put that person under a bar. And they've never squatted in their life. Okay. Never.
Okay.
Went under the bar and squatted more weight than they normally could. Than they ever thought they could.
Yeah.
put 245s on there. Didn't even tell him I put it on there. I told him I want you to close your eyes and I want you to do exactly the rhythm that you did with that ball when you get this bar on. When you pick this bar up, do exactly the same thing you did. Bounce back up, bounce back up, and that person literally did it like 4 times. Never squatted in their life and stuff, and it was like watching a kid ride the bike for the first time. Just looking around, and they saw the bar, and it freaked them out. So I had to help them rack it up because they were like scared to death because they thought it was like 10 pounds on it or something. I was like, no, like that's what you needed to do. Like if somebody has that mindset, like I use gym references a lot. Like if you say like you're doing a workout and you got the bar down, whatever, and you're thinking you're going to do 4 set reps. That's all you're going to do. Your mind is literally dead set on that 4th rep. My training now, I used to be that way. I used to be really bad at that. Right. Now my mindset is I'm going to keep going until I literally know for a fact I can't do this. And I use the Smith machine a lot when it comes to bench press now because at least if I'm stuck, I can just roll that thing over and slide right out. Like it's just safely that way. Not me bench and then like literally it's like, maybe I did too much. Where's this bar going? Anybody in here? Oh, nope.
See, you're
right. We're stuck. All right.
Marlo, you're pushing yourself and you're pushing
exactly.
Your people, and that's called drive. And that's what I teach.
People don't have it no more, man. It drives me nuts. It's like, come on, like it's everybody has it. And that's the problem. Everybody has it, but they've been so used to being told, hey, this is okay. You can do this. Like, take your time, whatever. I get that, but you got to perform. That's my biggest problem. And like, even with me, with 2 kids, I mean, I'm a sports athlete. I'm not gonna lie. Like, would I love to have my kids play? Yes, but am I gonna force them? No. But if they want to do it, they're gonna spend that 1 session with me where it's just gonna be like, I'm not daddy this time. I'm helping you this. Don't think I'm gonna be easy on you. And like, that's just how I am. Like, if you're gonna do this, I'm gonna make sure you see what the real object of this is before we sit here and sign the dotted line. Like, hey, I'm gonna play this. No, like you got mine. You're in my supervision. I'm going to take care of you, but I'm going to push you to be at the best you can. And that's only if you want it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, you got to run. You got to do this. No, like, if you don't like it, I'm okay with that. Right. Like, people are fine with that. And, I mean, do I want them to play sport? Of course. Like, who doesn't want their kids to play sports? I feel like you learn so many values playing sports in a way. It's not just a win or loss ordeal. Like, you're literally teaching your kids when stuff is tough, guess what? It's okay to have help. And I'm not saying like have help to literally be like, hey, I don't have an A+. Let me look at Johnny's paper over here and see what they got. No, like I'm talking about like you need to learn like everything's not just on you, but you still need to put your weight up. You need to have your weight in gear. And that's one thing I learned in sports, man. It's crazy on TV and stuff now. It's just like we're just encouraging to be sluggish. We're encouraging that it's okay just to fit in. You don't need to stand out. Like, oh my gosh, it just blows my mind now. It just blows my mind.
Right. Well, I'm trying to inspire people because it's so easy to go the way of the world. And the way of the world is to not do anything, right? The way of the world is to like play video games, do drugs, get caught up in stuff.
The TikToks nowadays, like I tell people, if you take as much valiant effort that you do on these TikTok videos to really put in something that you're passionate about, those TikTok videos really can make you a living. Like you could probably be an actress or something like that. I just had a recent episode with a upcoming actress. She's got a new movie coming up soon, and she's very active on TikTok. And she said that's actually helped her in her acting standpoint because she brings the same energy that she brings in on that set to what her TikTok videos are, and that's what's got her that high praise that she's gotten now.
Sure.
And I'm like, you just got to step out of the box, and you literally got to just, you need to do it yourself. And that's one thing I love about my podcast is nobody else does this for me. This is my podcast. This is something
Right.
that I do on my own. I'm the one networking it. I promote it, whatever. Sometimes I'm thinking like, man, maybe I need a extra hand, but it's like, you know what? That makes it more valuable to me. So like when I praise about my YouTube subscribers and stuff, it might not be much to many people, but you know what? For the time and effort that I've been on it, if I get one subscriber, I'm gonna praise it, because that's something that means it's going up. Nothing, it's not just falling down. Like that's when
Right.
I'll be like, yeah, all right, now I might need help, because this went this way, now it's going this way. Like maybe I don't know what I'm doing in ways. Like those things is what my main focus is. If stuff ain't rising, then that's where I'm like reevaluating. I might write on the paper, like I rarely ever do, but it's like every week I set a goal for myself.
Mhm.
And I said, you know what? Maybe I didn't get enough plays on Spotify this week. So that's going to be one of my main focuses, promoting a little bit more on Spotify.
Okay.
And Apple, I'm very, very lacking on Apple, because I don't even own an Apple product. So it's like,
Right.
people are like, hey, man, you got Apple? And I'm like, do you realize how hard that is to get on Apple? Like, y'all just don't know. Take a look at Spotify. I'm very sure they will let you play it with no problem. And it's just like, oh, man, I'd rather listen to Apple. I'm like, well, maybe next year you can listen to an episode.
Sure.
But it's like literally these things, like I always pursue like something, like I write a goal and I look at it. So like
See,
like
that's
I
one of
just
the
said
things
about
I teach,
Spotify.
Marlon, is I teach
That's that business mindset, man.
Yeah.
Like you got to know your worth and value yourself.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
one thing I learned in wrestling, because you're not making WWE money. You're not making AEW money starting out in the independent circuit. I don't care who you are. You're a brand new person just coming out of wrestling school and stuff like that. You're barely going to make over $40 a show. And people look at you and go, you're only making $40? Like, but you're putting your time and effort in. And that's one thing people
Sure.
don't realize. Like Stone Cold, Rock, all these guys, they were in your shoes and probably making lower than what you were making. And people just don't realize the value of what hard work is nowadays. And that's one thing I've made major respect after I got into wrestling, is like, you know what? It's not great right now, but I'm going to make it mine. And I'm going to make something different for me. And I mean, 6 years later, obviously something just told me, nope, not no more.
Right.
Hope you enjoyed it. You did good, but no more. But it's just like, all right, now I got to reevaluate and do something different. Like it's just, and then this podcast came, and this went from just being a trial run to literally being major success, happiness in my way. Like
For you, man.
I live for these. I enjoy these things, and it's just like it gets better. And one thing I learned with these episodes is if I'm not learning something, then there's my problem.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, like different guests that I've had that I just learned something from. Like my old self, my 20-year-old self wouldn't listen to half of these conversations, because it's just like, that's not what I like. That's not something I'm into, whatever. So it's like, now I'm more wiser in ways. And it's just like, okay, that actually makes sense. That's actually pretty cool. Like I would never care about ballerina or ballets or anything, but the way they talk about how passionate they are, and I'm like, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I might not do it, but hey, I can relate to that from what I like and why you like this. And that's one thing I think that's one thing that's great about a podcast. You get to express how you feel, express something you're passionate about.
Sure.
And not get judged for it. You might get judged for it, but guess what? I tell people all the time, that number only shows when they click that play button. They don't show when they pause it or they skip through it or whatever, skip whatever they want to hear. So in a way, you still get what you want to say out. And that's how I told people. I'm like, what's the worst they do? They hit stop. All right, guess what? That sucker still says, hey, congratulations, you got one play today. Like, that's just how it is. That's one thing I love about a podcast. Is like, you don't get that filter in ways like, hey, you can't say this today. You can't do that. And I know I've been babbling off a little bit, but John, talk about so what are some things that you do to get into that mode before you get ready to get on those phone and sell, try to get sales to
Yeah,
people and stuff like that.
sure,
And
you
I
got it,
wanted you to
Marlon.
talk about your novel also that you wrote.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's out on Amazon. But yeah, so state management, that's a big thing in sales. And most people just take it for granted. Like most salespeople don't spend any time getting themselves in state. So
Mm-hmm.
like I'd mentioned before we started recording today, that some of the things I do to get in state for my day is one, I drink coffee. Two, I relax a little bit. And sometimes I listen to a little heavy metal. Sometimes I listen to a little Metallica to get the blood pumping, and then I'm ready to rock and roll. Along with sharing what I can offer people from a sales standpoint. And so I don't go in cold. I go in warm. You think
Warm
about
as a coffee pot.
well, yeah, in the practicing, the music, all of it raises your level of inspiration, so you can hit. Like you think of the professional comedian that gets on stage and they have to tell those jokes and people might laugh and they might not laugh. It's a lot like sales. People might buy and they might not buy, but you got to keep on telling those jokes. You got to keep on presenting. You got to keep on asking. You got to keep on like being in the hunt.
Yep.
And
There's no take two.
yeah. And one thing that's lost on a lot of people that are in sales is they spend so much time like focusing on themselves. And I'm saying get in state, but I'm also like really, 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 really focus on the person that you're trying to sell to.
Yep.
Like, what do they want? What's important to them? And how who you are could relate to them.
Absolutely. Yep.
Those are like some of the key things that are lost on so many people. And then just like managing yourself. Like I had a guy this weekend reach out to me. He's trying to sell an RV. And an RV is like over 100K, a really nice
Exactly.
RV. And he's like, John, I asked the guy how much, he was willing to spend. I got a budget from him. And then he wanted to know how much he could get for his current RV. And, and the guy just kept on going back to this guy and asking him to buy and asking him to buy and asking him to buy. That's both the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. Because first,
hurry up and buy.
well, yeah, but first you got to get it like thread the needle, so to speak.
Yep.
You got to get it so like, okay, this is the RV this guy wants. This is a good price for his trade-in. This is a good interest rate for his loan. It all has to like make sense, and then you ask the guy to buy. Like he was
you gotta set the mood. You gotta set the mood, man. It's like how we say with relationships, man. Girls ain't gonna just get in the bed instantly. You gotta just set the mood, man. You gotta literally like, hey, they like massages, stuff like that. You got to set the mood. They're like, girls ain't gonna sit there and go, hey, I'm gonna date you, stuff like instantly after we talk. No, you gotta talk to them, relate to them. It's a building process. And I love how you say stuff about sales. It's like people literally look. I think it's like how you recover from injury. Like you recover faster when you do from option 1 all the way to the end. You recover somewhat when you go from option 4 to whatever next. Like it's got to be from square A to square Z, basically. Like you have to literally start all that process. Patience is a virtue, especially in sales. I could only imagine me just doing this podcast. I mean, in a way, you're selling to people as well. I mean, not necessarily, hey, hurry up and buy ordeal. Like, hey, check me out. Listen to this. I'm different. I mean, how many different podcasters out in the world? What makes mine different than the normal ones that you listen to regularly every week? Like those things is something you have to look at. And that's one thing. Like I look at 5 different podcasts a week, and I literally go, you know what? What can I get out of that and put into my show, but make it my own thing? Make it something that kind of makes me stand out a little bit. Like I tell people all the time, like I may not be Joe Rogan, but you know what? When you listen to me, I might not have all that production standpoint, have that great studio and everything that he has, but it's like, you know what? I'm just real. And that's one thing I think you can get over with your audience or the person you're trying to sell to is they realize, hey, they're just like me. Like how you said you listen to rock music, Metallica, stuff like that before you do your sales ordeals and stuff like that. They people it changes the game in ways. Like literally it makes it'll be like, you know what? I want to hear what this person has to say. He might get me to buy today. Like we use car salesman in a great reference. I mean, it's just how hard it is to sell a car every single day.
Yeah, but
And what can you
how many
change on
sales
that?
guys, Marlo, spend the time to find out about you? How many
Exactly.
times have you gone to a car lot and anybody has asked you anything at all about you?
Yep.
Like I'm a professional sales guy, so I go on to a lot and I'm gauging how good of a salesperson I think I got or how long they've
Mm-hmm.
been doing it. But they don't ask me squat about me. They don't even,
Right.
they just want to know like what car I'm looking for, how much I want to spend, but the things that are going to not make me buy
Yep.
because I'm going to buy
It's
from
already a
people I
negative.
like.
It's already that negative cloud. It's like whatever you tell me, it's already out the ear. Like I'm not even tuned in what you got, but I'm not gonna say it very visually. Like, hey, shut up. Like this is like literally me not listening. You're bringing whatever you want to say, but it's like, bro, you've already brought that wrong approach. That's it. I use the reference. I'm very big on The Rock. I love the morals that he has in life, all of that. And the biggest one that he always talks about is men. The hardest thing is to always be nice. And people don't realize how effective that is to people. Like, I use the reference like how when I go to work, if you come into work already mad before you clock in, guess what? You're bringing a negative vibe going into work and it's not going to be better. Like you're already in that mentality. It's like today's going to suck. Like regardless if it's a good day, like people don't realize every bad day it always equals something good too. Like there's never such thing as it's just completely bad every single moment. Like I tell people all the time, like bro, you woke up, be blessed. You got a roof over your head, be blessed. Like these little
Attitude, baby,
things
attitude.
is just what helps people rise up. And that's how I tell people if I'm not rising, if I'm not going up, then there's a problem. There's something wrong with me if I know my mentality or something is going like this, then I'm like, all right, let me take a step back. Let me reevaluate how this day's went. What did I do to wake up bad, angry? What caused me to be that way? And let's change it.
Right,
Like
right.
how we say about relationships, man. You don't want to go to bed angry. You don't ever want to look at your spouse or your loved one or whatever and be like, you're mad, like, good night, whatever. Like, just, you have to clear that mind and people just, oh my gosh, it's crazy. Like how I love how you say about salesmen because just them alone, car salesmen, they literally are out there for themselves. They're not really trying to relate to the audience, not trying to say, hey, what kind of car are you looking at? They're literally looking at, hey, man, I got this deal. I get a bonus if I can sell you this car. I'm not really going to tell you what's the positives of you getting that car, regardless if you have a family. But hey, there's a two-door Corvette that seats 3 guys, but you with a family of 4, I'm still going to try to sell it to you because I need that incentive. Like you're not putting stuff that helps value to your customer. And those are the major things. I'm not a professional salesperson. I don't
But
want
there are
anybody to ever think I'm like, hey,
no. I hear you, Marlo. But
there. But
there
it's
are good car salespeople out there. There
these
are good
things
ones.
is what can make somebody relate and go, you know what? You're right. I actually like what you put. And I'm not personalizing most of this stuff. But it's just like these things, it makes a major difference. Like I had a guy that literally he worked with us in a warehouse for like 5 or 6 months. Now he's a car
Uh-huh.
salesman, but he's so nice. He's so relatable to He's been selling a car every single day. He's only like 24 years old, and he's he's selling a car every single day just because he's one being nice and two caring about his his seller. And those are the two things that you really need. And the guys that have been there 10 years and stuff like that, like, man, I'm barely maybe to sell 2 cars in 2 to 3 weeks. What are you doing? And he's like, I'm just being me. And those are major value things.
Sure.
Major value. It's sad in ways. Like it's like you just got to I think like with wrestling, like it's great when you're on that high, but you also need to learn what is going to help you when you're not there anymore. What can you do to reevaluate yourself, revamp yourself, and adapt to what the fans like, what's going on? Like it's all great when everything's going good, like a relationship. I will probably use this metaphor very often now.
Yeah.
It's all good when you're in that honeymoon stage, but when that honeymoon stage fades away, then it's just like, man, I don't like being around you. We can't communicate. Like maybe I need to start looking to see what more value to me. Like we already in those negative mindsets. We're not looking at, hey, what am I doing wrong? So I can fix what on my end, and then we'll figure out what's going on so we can be entwined, so we can be together again. And
Sure.
it's just like these little things is what builds a team. This is what builds the business and stuff like that. It's crazy.
But you brought up a great point, Marlo. People buy from people they like.
Yep.
Period. Like the guy that you're talking about in the warehouse that's now selling cars, people like him. In most organizations don't teach the people that work for them, that sell for them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't teach the skill sets like I do to teach people so that people like you. Like you got to
Mm-hmm.
share. You've shared a lot with your audience about your son, your daughter, the fact that you came from
Yeah.
wrestling, the fact that you're working really hard on your podcast. You got a lot of energy. You're sharing your energy with people. That's helping your podcast grow. But like most professional salespeople out there, they don't share who they are with their prospects. And
They're a
so people
gimmick.
don't do a lot of business with them because they don't know who they're doing business with.
They're playing a fake gimmick, basically.
Well, they're just not, you got to be confident about who you are as a person to be able to
Yep.
share with who you are as a person with others.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like somebody that doesn't have strong self-confidence isn't going to ask a lot of people out to date, right?
Yep.
And people without a lot of self-confidence isn't going to ask a lot of people to buy or to even present what they're selling because they don't have confidence in themselves.
Yep.
And
I
so
agree with
two
that.
things: you got to really like yourself, you got to share yourself with others, and you got to present what you're selling and find out
Mm-hmm.
what they want. And when you put all that together, you're a professional.
Yep. I like that, man. So, talk about your novel that you wrote. Like, what inspired you to actually write it?
Yeah,
Was it basically to help people understand the real mindset of how to be a salesperson, or
yeah.
was it basically you were like, you know what, I'm gonna write this down, and we're gonna see where it goes, and people literally was just like blown away from what knowledge you gave on it, and they're like, you know what, I can interact with that. I can relate to this. This is awesome. This guy's not like a millionaire or anything like this. This guy is literally like me, but the mindset he's got, man, he seems like $1 million basically.
Yeah, so it's the mental game. That's what I teach is the mental game.
Mm-hmm.
And Sales Warrior, the reason I wrote the book Sales Warrior was to teach the mental game of sales and to take people that are struggling out there and to walk them through a process of building themselves up so they can be
Mm-hmm.
more successful in life. Not
Right.
only successful in business, but successful in life where they really enjoy life. So
Mm-hmm.
I teach a lot about like how to be successful in business, but I teach a lot about like how to be successful in life.
Right.
And the reason I did it was because I have a 21-year-old and I was in his room one day. I'm actually in his room right now because he moved out, got his own apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in his room right now. I turned it into my office and I was in here and he had a book on his shelf by called Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. Do you know who Jordan is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep.
So do you know how he made all his money?
Ideas, I thought, right?
What's that?
He had a lot of ideas, I thought. Something like
Well,
that, right?
so he put together a false company and
That's right. He put it false.
sold a false company to a lot of people and milked them for a lot of money. And in the United States, federal government found out about it and put him in prison. Now he had business partners.
That's like that movie, Catch Me If You Can, right? Well, that kind of like the documentary on him on that.
No, his movie's Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So that's Jordan Belfort. Not saying anything against him, but I didn't want my son to be. I didn't want my son to have him as a hero. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a son, you want your son to have somebody that's that they can learn. So that was kind of the reason why I wrote my book. Is one, I wanted to have something for my two sons and my grandson to be able to read and really understand business and sales. And maybe they're going to be salespeople, maybe they're not going to be salespeople, but the people skills that they learn in my work can benefit them the rest of their life. And honestly,
right,
Marlo, I'm not going to be here forever, right? My book is.
You left a stamp, man. That's what people don't realize, man. Life is temporary, but man, you wanna make an impact. Like how we praise stuff in school, like George Washington and stuff like that. They made an impact to like how long have they been dead, and literally, you still talk about them to this day. Like literally, we work our hard-earned money to have a George Washington in our pocket and stuff like this. That's the craziest thing. People don't realize is what can you leave behind? Like who would think like literally in the next 40 or 50 years, like literally we could probably be that impacted, like say like me. This podcast could still be out when I'm gone or something like that. And it's just hard to think sometimes like that.
I'm going to show you something. It's from my own personal library. It's called See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. Here's another reason why I wrote my book. When do you think the first print of this was?
The first print? I'd say the 70s?
1974.
Oh, dang. I was right. All right.
1974. Now ask me when my book came out. 2020.
2020? I was actually about to say like maybe the early 2000s.
So my book is more relevant for today. I talk about the use of social media. I talk about use of emailing. I talk about things for the salesperson of today. Zig Ziglar was going door to door selling pots and pans.
Yep.
I was selling $1 million software implementations and $500,000 software implementations. A little bit different,
but the same kind of value way in a way.
Yeah,
like you were adapted to that audience.
And I love Zig Ziglar. Don't get me wrong, but people need something relevant for today. This is relevant.
You can't really just go to doors anymore and sell stuff anymore, especially the way the world is right now with COVID and all that. Hey, man, you gotta spray Germ-X on my door now. Thank you.
and that's an amazing book. But even though I'm a motivational guy, I'll be selling tomorrow, Tuesday. I got 4 appointments set up. So like I haven't stopped selling.
So what keeps you going? Like what keeps you wanting to advance more and more into this? Like is it always like a competition? Like, man, I want to see where I can go this week on it. Like is it kind of like you write goals or something during the week, like, hey, I want to sell this amount this week, or I want to convince somebody that I know for a fact that hasn't bought something for me yet, but you know what? This week is going to be that week or something like that. What keeps you going?
What keeps me going? One, making something out of nothing jazzes me. Like, the fact that I can have 4 meetings on Tuesday, and somebody who doesn't even know what I'm going to mention gets excited about it and wants to do business with me for the first time. That jazzes me. Like that gets me really pumped up and excited. Kind of like, if this week you got 10 more subscribers to your podcast, you'd be like, man, that's something out of nothing.
Yeah.
It's fun, man. It's a part of the game. So yeah, and that's something I teach too, that a lot of sales mentors and trainers don't teach. Sales is a game.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the things I did to be successful in games as a kid and to enjoy life as a kid, I use in my gigs. Like one of the things as a kid, I used to play basketball, seventh,
Okay.
eighth grade, all through grade school. I was the center of my basketball team. As you played at the college level, or like, you know, I guess kind of like semi-professional.
I played the summer in college, and then when I had my son, I just kind of like fade off.
Stop. Yeah.
You know the normal stories for those.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know, like
Daddy
when you,
life, you can't juggle a ball and with daddy life at the same time sometimes.
but it's like that drive when you're practicing basketball, and like I used to play in my parents' driveway. I used to
Uh-huh.
practice my jump shot over and over and over. Well, I had this thing I couldn't go inside unless I made three in a row. Like if I couldn't make three shots in a row, I wasn't going inside. I wasn't quitting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that same kind of mentality, like I'm not going to quit for the day until I send three more emails. I'm not going to quit for the day until I make three more phone calls. I'm not going to quit for the day until I got one more appointment booked. I'm not going to
Exactly.
quit for the day until I research one more case for somebody or whatever. Like that, I'm not going to quit.
It's
That
like a video game. Like you never put down the video game until you beat it. Like
Yeah,
literally, those are those things. Like, man, I'm gonna beat this level today. I'm gonna do this. Like
it's a
I remember,
game, man.
I don't play video games as much as I used to in the past,
Yeah,
but man, I would beat a game in like literally 2 to 3 days. Like because I was so adamant. Like, hey, this game I'm beating this week. Like this game, I got you.
but you're
Like there were
driving
certain
yourself
games
to
like
like
you had to play
simple
so
numbers.
long, but it's like you got to have that mentality. It's like I'm beating you today. And then obviously you won't pick it up again for another month or so because you're like, I already beat you. I'm
Yeah, man,
good.
but like, keep going. And like I've read a lot of biographies in my day, and you look at some of these people that are like world famous to now, like world famous. Like you can get on a plane and go over to London, England, and you can wear a Motley Crue shirt into a restaurant, and people know who Motley Crue is in London. They're
Leave your mark.
world famous. And back in the day, they used to go around Sunset Strip with a four-cylinder vehicle, and they would stand on each other's shoulders, and they would take their little flyers for their shows, and they would staple them up. And as they stapled theirs, they were stapling over other people's, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
they got world famous. They would also go into parking lots for famous, and they would flyer the whole parking lot with, you know, like let's say Aerosmith was playing somewhere in LA, they would spend their money, hard earned money, and buy 500 flyers with their next
Mm-hmm.
show that's going to be at the Starwood, at the next night, and they would just put flyers on
Flood them
all
on
these
the
cars.
walls, flood them on everywhere. I love that. That's how I mean, that's how old school promoting standpoint is. Like that's one thing I learned in wrestling too, because man, I remember those days when we had to put flyers over help me find my dog signs and stuff like that. Like those are just you literally had to get that face out there. Luckily with social media, it makes it easier to get that flyer out faster and obviously you don't have to print out so much papers. You just send it right on Facebook, your Instagram and stuff like that now, which is cool to be updated and stuff like that in ways and that helps people perspective
Absolutely.
in ways, but it's just it's like how you said like you Aerosmith putting a flyer out, man. They were putting it everywhere. They're putting it on cars, everything. Like I remember when I first started, like they always told us, like if we went to a high school football game, those were the best places to promote games because I'm in our shows because
Mhm.
you just go put them on cars. Worst case is that they're going to do is just throw it away, but they're going to make an attempt. Now, granted, sometimes it was raining, and then obviously yeah, but most of those times people are going to notice that flyer on that car. They're either going to be interested or they're just going to fling it right out. And those are the ways that's how it keeps you going. Like you're literally having to think of a new idea to keep what can I do this week to get this going? What can I do next week to do this? Like those are just those reevaluations that help out in advance. Like you said about that first
Plant
novel that you
seeds.
wrote, is
What?
are you
Yeah,
gonna
go
have
ahead.
more continuous series writing for this novel, or it's just
Well,
gonna be like one of those
so I
ones?
moved my not so I wrote my book. It's called Sales Warrior. It's on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm like, okay, this is like a lot of what I know about
Mm-hmm.
professional selling, and this can help a lot of people.
Right.
But then I'm like, what can help more people is something more interactive than just a book. And so
Mm-hmm.
I put together a master class, and my master class is a 3-day boot camp. So it's
Okay.
about 15 hours of instruction, inspiration, video, and audio designed to make that book come alive.
Right.
Because it's kind of like, have you ever read a book and then saw the movie, or saw the movie and
Harry
then read
Potter.
the book? Do what?
Harry Potter.
There you go, right? So so did it
Had
like
to get those AR points when you were in middle school, man.
yeah.
Those book fairs.
Did it like come alive for you though? Like you're like, which did you do first? You read the book, then saw the movie, or saw the movie and then read the book?
Now, I made a mistake the first time. Like
Okay.
obviously the first movie, it was spot on like the book. The third movie was nothing like the book. So I went
Okay.
in thinking I could pass the test without reading the third novel. Absolutely not. Like I was like stuck on these questions and they had a time limit on it. And I almost missed it just because of the time limit going on. I'm like, this was not in the movie. This was not in the movie. And I failed the test because I didn't read the book. And then when I read the
Ah,
book, I was like, dang, this is so different from the novel. I mean, I'll be real, man. I wasn't a real big reader when I was younger.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
okay.
especially when those books were like this thick
Right.
and I like pictures. I mean, people might laugh about it, but I like the picture books in ways because it's like something I could see. Like I'm not just looking at a word. Like my imagination was based off the pictures in the book. Like if I read the autobiography, I'm looking at the actual pictures of that character first before I'm even reading the novel because I'm like, hey, that looks cool or something like that. Like I said
Sure.
with The Rock, that was actually one of my very first biographies I read, and I learned that his name was really Dwayne Johnson. And I was like, The Rock sounds so much better than Dwayne.
Right.
Like his nickname was Dewey, and I'm like, man, his nickname was Dewey. And then he was daggum 6 foot tall at 15 years old. I'm like, man, I wasn't even 5'6" at 15 years old. It's like just these cool things that
Yeah.
intrigued me with it. And and man, when I found out he played for the Miami Hurricanes, I was on cloud nine. I was like, yeah, okay. Now I got something to like you even more. You a Miami Hurricane fan. I'm a Miami fan. Like, all right. Now I'm like, that's my guy. Like, that's my
Right.
dude now. Literally just from that relation. I'm like, okay. Now I'm fully your fan. Like that sold me to him. Like literally was just like, okay. And I would tell my mom, like, Mom, he was a Miami Hurricane in the '90s and they won a championship and stuff like that. And we went and researched it and like he played maybe one or two seasons
Yeah.
without being hurt and stuff, but it was like he was one of those guys. And it was just like cool when you see him on TV. He wasn't that big like that. And I was like, man, Rock looked like he could probably have been a running back or something when he was wrestling. But
Right.
when he was playing football, I was like, bro, he looked kind of fat. Like he looked really just chunky in a way. And they were like, no, like that's just how they were built. And
Sure.
obviously he had to change the look when he was wrestling, be big but lean out a little bit. And it's mind boggling how a character just adapts from a certain stage, and like from sports or any type of scenario you have to change something to get and more investment into that product that you're trying to present. And that's one thing that I was so sold on The Rock was just like, one, he was a good guy, people liked him. I love the third person reference that he would do in the rings. I absolutely despised it on anybody else. I hated the third person reference, but with The Rock did it, man, that was cool to me. But if
Right.
anybody
Right.
else did, I'm like, man, stop bragging about yourself. I'm tired of hearing about you. Like, but when The Rock did, I was like, what? Yeah, okay.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like, it was just, it got you more fired up for it. Like, people like Superman, I like The Rock. Like that was my dude when it came to those things. And like
So
those
you read
little
the
things is what
biography,
made
and
you
then you
more
got the
invest into him.
you read the
Was that?
biography. You read the
Yep.
biography, so like you know what he's all about.
That was my first chapter book I ever read was his biography.
That's all good.
I hated chapter books, man.
And,
I didn't like
and
that I
now
didn't have
you've like seen
pictures.
all the movies, right? But you read the book and then you've seen the movies, so you probably feel like you really know him.
Mm-hmm. And then now,
Yeah,
just the way he is now, and it's just like, man, you even a better dude now. Like this is so cool. Like, and I think of like that's actually how I think about present my podcast is like, you know what? Rock being in wrestling made everybody researched him in the past and stuff. I didn't even know when I watched him on TV that his dad and uncle, his grandfather was wrestling.
yeah, I
Like
knew
I
that. Yeah,
really got more invested in it. I was like, man, his dad, Rocky Johnson. I thought The Rock was just really tan. I might get laughed at on this. I didn't even know he
right,
was
right.
black. I really thought he was just really tan. I didn't think of this.
No, he's
I was like,
Samoan.
and then his dad was like literally just a buff, super muscular, perfectly acrobatic guy. And I'm like, okay, but he don't look like The Rock. And I'm like, and then his mom, I was like, okay, this makes sense now.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking his mom's like really tan. I'm like, no, she's Samoan. I was like, oh, okay. Then that made me even learn more about him. And I was like, okay, this is understandable now in ways. Like
sure,
these
sure.
things were just something like it made you invest into that person. Like how when he was wrestling stuff, you know how they got their shop. Hey, buy their T-shirt, buy their plush action figure, and all that. That's what sold me on him was from action figures and stuff like that. And I remember when I was wrestling, man, my main goal was like, man, I want to get an action figure of me. Like I was one of those superhero type characters. Like literally, hold on, I don't know if you've ever seen one. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
Let me find them. Let me see. Cutting that time a little bit.
Oh,
That was
cool.
my character right there. And I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
I really think I deserve to be on that action figure. I really think I could be that character. And man, when I got my action figure and I got to give it to my son, man, I was on cloud
Oh,
nine. And that was just
awesome,
like
dude.
one of my main things that those were the main purposes of me of doing it.
Hmm.
And everybody's like, man, I bet you were getting paid loaded of money. I was like, honestly, the money wasn't a thing for me. Like
Yeah,
people look at me and go, "Man, stop lying. Money was always an issue." No, it wasn't because I saw the purpose of why I done it. Like how we say, man. Like sometimes you have to have that escape zone. Like that was my escape. Like I
yeah.
don't have my son full time. My son lives with his mom 8 hours away, and I get him very rarely in times.
Oh, okay,
And it's
okay.
just like American Prodigy. No one could tell him that he done anything wrong. No one could say that that's a bad guy. That guy's this or something like that.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm thinking I preferred to be American Project than I preferred to be Warren. And I had that problem for almost 3 to 4 years.
Hmm. Hmm.
And when I actually started respecting, like, you know what, it's okay to be Warren. And that's one thing that actually made me make that decision. Like, you know what, it's time to hang it up and stuff because I fed up on being American Project more than I wanted to be Warren Marlowe. And I would present
Right.
myself as American Project. I wouldn't even acknowledge myself as Warren Marlowe. Like I would actually carry the mask with me regularly just so I could be that guy in front of fans again. Like literally, some people just look at you and go, "Oh my gosh, that's American Project, Mom!" Like, and it's just like that was the main feeling I loved. Like I always wanted
Oh,
something to
that's
be a role
awesome.
model to kids, and I felt like with American Project I could be that way. I could have
That's
done
awesome.
that, and I came up with so many ideas I wanted to be when I was that character. That's why it was so hard to leave in ways too, because I was like, man, I had
Yeah.
so much more. I had so much work I wanted to do on it. It burned me out sometimes, and I was just like,
Yeah.
man, I didn't watch wrestling for a year
Oh, wow.
when I stopped because it was like I hit a major plateau. I was hurt. I was hurt mentally, hurt physically. I just had my daughter born.
Yeah.
I was newly married, so it was like literally it was just a lot of shadow, a lot of clouds were falling on me at that time.
Right.
And major
Right.
shout out to my wife on this because I was very tough to deal with. I'm not easy to deal with nowadays either, but still like placed in what I was. And when you watch a lot of old stuff about wrestlers, athletes, or anybody in general, it's like, man, was it that meaningful, or you know what, we could have done something to help something on me, and it's just like, you know what, if it ends the day, one thing I learned from all of it right now, you know what, kind of like how my dad always said, rub a little dirt on it, and it'll heal up, and that's just how like I've always lived my mindset, and that's
Sure.
how I am now. It's just like, you know what, rub some dirt on it. That scratch will ease up eventually. Like it may hurt like heck right now, but it's only temporary.
Get back
And
up and keep going, brother.
and
Get
it's
back
just
up
like
and keep
it's just
going.
those
Run
things,
that
man.
ball.
It's that's just how I am. Like
Yeah,
I'll probably be that way until I'm in the ground. Like that's just how I am.
it's all
but
good.
But John, I appreciate you being on here today. This was an
Absolutely.
absolute wonderful chat. You are
Yeah.
more than welcome to come on anytime you want.
Oh, thanks, man.
You
Hey,
just let
can
me
I
know
tell
and we'll
people how
set
to
this
reach
up.
me?
Yeah, I was about to say, I want you to actually, do you have any last minute shout outs you want to do? Any plugs you want to put in? Also, guys, the links are going to be below the episode, so you can follow John, buy his book. If you are in that, you don't even have to be a salesperson, but you can learn, be in the shoes of a salesperson, relate to what they're doing. So when you do pick up the phone, maybe you can give some pointers to the next salesman that's trying to sell you something. You're like, hey man, I read John's book, and this is something that you should look into doing. This might actually help you you might not sell, you might not get me as a buyer, but you know what? This can help you prepare yourself for the next client that you're trying to get. And and so on, so on. And it can just rise up. But man, this was awesome. John,
Absolutely.
you got
So
any
here's
shout
how
outs,
they,
bud?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Marlo.
No, you're good. I was
So here's
babbling.
how they reach me. I have a website. It's saleswarriorinspire.com. My
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn is exactly how my name's coming up, Jon Sales Warrior. Feel free,
Okay.
anybody, to send me a LinkedIn request. And man, wonderful being on. My book's on Amazon called Sales Warrior. But here's a special I'm going to do for your folks. So if they
Uh
buy my 3-day boot camp, my 3-day sales boot camp, and it can help them too, just be better at interviewing when they're out
oh.
looking
Mm-hmm.
for work, what have you. Um, but my 3-day boot camp's normally $400, and it's
Mm-hmm.
about 15 hours of instruction, inspiration, and worksheets and
Right.
video and audio to really make the book come to life. So instead of 400, they can get it for 199, and I'll give my
Oh.
book for free.
Oh, y'all hear that, guys? That's a Buzzing with Marlo special right there. There you go. Hey, shout out to John on that, man. That's awesome. Guys, that's an offer you can't refuse right there, man. Went from 400 to 199, and you get the free book. You can't go wrong with that. Cannot go wrong with that. That's an offer you cannot refuse.
And
John, that's
yeah,
awesome, man. That's
it's all
awesome. We
good.
appreciate that. That's
Absolutely,
pretty
man.
cool, man. That's pretty
Absolutely.
awesome. All right, man. I
All right, brother.
appreciate you doing this, John.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
I want to know something before we end. So
Yeah.
if anyone's that's trying to get in the salesman mentality or the business itself, what would you tell them to start out? Like the proper, like how would they be able to do it? Like what would you be able to do to help sell them to wanting to be that type of occupation?
Well, if you want to go into sales, I would
Or just
suggest.
anything in general. What advice would you give them to do?
Well, so yeah. So here's some good anecdotal information. So we all know who Steve-O is, right?
Oh yeah.
Steve-O, like from the Jackass movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Steve-O, a lot of people don't know this, but he went to Ringling and Brothers clown school. So
Mm-hmm.
he is a professional stuntman taught by one of the biggest circuses in the world.
Yep.
So you got to get educated. Educated people go farther. I don't care if you're self-educated or if you're educated at the college level. You got to be educated to go far in life. You can't get behind a plane and expect to fly it professionally without the knowledge of how to do it. And I don't know, what education people are searching for, but it's got to jazz them. And then network, man. You want to get into sales, network, and get out on LinkedIn and get a profile going. Get that first sales job under your teeth, cut your teeth on it, and then network. Never stop asking questions. Never stop meeting people, and you'll never
Best
be
thing is get that caffeine in your system and start clicking.
Yeah, man, you gotta network. I'm not saying you won't be unemployed, but people that know how to network very rarely don't have a job.
Yep.
You have to network. You have to know a lot of people. You got to have a profile out on LinkedIn and Monster and all those big. And you'd be amazed at the offerings that are out there. There are a lot of sales jobs where you could just work from home with your laptop computer and sell stuff and make a great living, just sitting at home on your laptop.
Yep. A lot of people don't realize that, man. Like, you got these guys that literally like, man, I hate going into work. I hate doing it. So what are you doing? What are you doing to make yourself happy? Why aren't you trying to know your worth, basically, and try something? It's going to suck at first, but dadgummit, at least if you fell at it, at least you know you gave it your all. And that's one thing you got to learn.
Right now, solar is huge. Solar is huge right now. And they hire people to just set appointments so a person can get a job out of their house just setting appointments for solar. Then they can grow into being an outside salesperson or the actual salesperson. There's so much opportunity out there. There's Facebook groups on professional selling where you get in that Facebook group and there's people that are looking for people to help them sell their stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
There's more opportunity out there than there has ever been out there, because now it's not just the state that you live in, their city that you live in. It's international. You can literally sell all across the world.
Yep.
Lots of opportunity.
I totally agree, man. It's crazy, man. They just got to get up and do it, man. That's like what I always reference when I say somebody about they want to try to lose weight, get in the gym, man. The hardest thing to do is just show up. Yeah. That's the hardest thing you can do is just show up. And man, it does a lot of wonders. Jon, I appreciate this.
This was awesome. You see this cell phone? Most salespeople really have a hard time picking this up. Like, this thing weighs like 300 pounds. I'm just like, right now I'm bulging right now because this thing's so heavy.
It's amazing, man. It's these references, man. People don't realize it only takes you to step up, show up, and do it. That's really all it is.
Fired, baby.
Take the punches, baby. You gotta take the punches to succeed. That's the way it is, man. It's like a car ride. It ain't the smoothest drive, but man, you make it what you can. Awesome. Jon, this was an absolute pleasure, man. Okay, I hope and pray we could definitely do this again, man. This was absolutely a blast. Guys, the links are gonna be below. You check it out. Give it a follow. Get that boot camp discount, man. Get that boot camp discount. $400 now to $199, and you get the free book, man. Cannot go wrong. Guys, you also can individually message him. Talk to him. Get some into the mindset of what he has, man. The success that this guy has, the knowledge that he has. Check it out, man. Don't give up on this offer, man. This is an awesome offer. Shout out to him for giving the Buzzing with Marlo fans something like that. That is huge, huge, man. All right, Jon, I appreciate you doing this, man. I hope you rock on, man.
Big fan, brother.
And enjoy the rest of your day.
You got it, man. Appreciate you. Cheers, everybody.
There you go, man. All right, guys, get to go home cute. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Jon Sansone for coming on today and giving us a lot of great knowledge, man. Check out that boot camp. Check out that boot camp, man. $400 to $199, and you get a free book, guys. The link is below. Get on that. Get on it, man. That is awesome. Hope everybody found some great messages out of today, man. Like, literally, there's no such thing as can't. And that's one thing that's literally been in my mindset since I was a little baby, man. Can't. Hey, man, you can't walk, bro. I'm going to scoot. Like, I'm going to find something to get around. Like, there's some way I'm moving. And it's just like these little things, man. you got it. Just make that change, make that difference. Also, guys, like I said before, check out our bonfire store. I'm gonna show some screenshots a little bit right now, guys. Check out, we got hoodies. I know we're almost out of the winter weather, but hey, stock them up, stock them up. You see, we got red, pink, blue, white, and black right now, and we are also gonna get newer colors coming up in the near future. I think maybe in the next few weeks, actually, I will actually start raising up a little bit more colors on them. But guys, get the official Buzzing with Marlo hoodie. They are awesome, comfortable, and more importantly, guys, they keep you warm. And I am very great example of that, man, because they are awesome. As I got the white one, and man, I wear it very regularly. It's very comfy. My wife likes to freeze me in the house, or when my mom comes to watch my daughter, she literally loves the house to be sub-zero cold in ways. It feels like it, and I'm telling you right now, this is the most comfortable thing I've worn in a while. Also, guys, we have the V-necks. These things are amazing. Love them. You can wear them any type of way. You can wear them on a date night, a time to go hang out with your friends. Even wear them to the gym. Even wear them when you go to sleep. Guys, check them out. They're awesome. We have black, white, blue, green, yellow, and I think I'm gonna approve an orange. It's just I gotta figure out what that orange can match with the logo because it just looks a little weird with the red. But we're working on that. If you are a fan that wants orange, we'll work. We'll get that working. Also, guys, ladies, I know we're on that New Year's resolution. Want to lose the weight? You want to look great, and you want to be able to look fit in these awesome tank tops, guys. We are bringing the Buzzing with Marlo Razorbacks. I'm gonna bring a lot more colors of these. I am a big fan of these. These are actually been selling amazing. Shout out to all the ladies on here, man. These have been selling out very well. Obviously the main favorite one, I'm pretty sure 100% everybody knows, is the pink one. Um, all the great feedback that we get on them, they're comfortable. They come at a decent time. They're not crazy out of pocket, and they're very satisfied. And I thank them for doing it, supporting it, and everything. Also, guys, up north, it's still pretty cold. You can get your long sleeves. You see the colors right there? We are going to extend the colors, guys. I just wanted to do a test run with these. Uh, I have a lot of great customers that are very satisfied with them. So definitely bringing them back. We've actually been, I think that's the second highest buying right now is the long sleeves. The red one is the most popular one, which is kind of crazy because I didn't think with red and the logo being the red outline, it would go together, but people are loving it. So we're going to bring them out and we'll get more of the brighter colors on with them. Also, guys, we got the 3/4 baseball tees. Those are the third favorites out here. My son actually owns one of these. They have youth and we have the adults. These have been buying like crazy. The green one, which is kind of crazy to me because it's like a gray and a green. Those are actually the most favorite ones on these. But guys, everyone likes something different. But check those out. Obviously, guys, we have the original t-shirts and the V-necks. You pick a color. And guys, let me also put me some feedback on the Buzzing with Marlo page, Instagram, whatever, and tell me what colors that you would love to have on these merch. Give me the feedback, man. We're looking forward, and I'm always open to hear more and more about them. Also, guys, if you haven't, make sure you like and subscribe. We are also now on officially and almost with fully Buzzsprout, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to them. They get our episodes out to so many platforms. Amazing work. Uh, truly, truly amazing. Truly amazing. Also, guys, I know y'all been seeing me drinking a can during the recording. I am an ambassador for Raz Sports, guys. They do energy drinks, proteins, supplements, BCAAs, stuff like that. I'm kind of narrowing down on coffee and stuff like that. So this obviously right here is the newer one right here, one of my personal favorites. Guys, we're on the ambassadorship. I'm doing like a 15% off discount. All you got to use the promo code AP2420 and you get 15% off on your purchase, guys. Check it out. Give me a holler. Give me a screenshot or whatever. When you use the promo code, I'll give you a shout out. Also, guys, I've been saying bonfire a lot because, guys, I'm doing a giveaway this month. You buy something, screenshot it, show it to me. I'm going to give you a shout out. Also, you are in the drawing for a raffle. The raffle ends at the end of March. So, guys, get your merch. Give me the screenshot and stuff like that. You entered into a drawing. And I'm telling you right now, man, just look forward to the prize, man. I can't wait to actually reveal it and stuff. I'm really excited for it. And I kind of trying to calm myself down a little bit just because it's like, oh man, I want to say it. And like, nope, I can't do it yet. Can't do it yet. But guys, I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. This was awesome, guys. Also, if you haven't and you're a fan of wrestling, you know I have a background of professional wrestling. Guys, check out on Wednesdays, every Wednesday on YouTube Live, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook Live, on the Real Buzzing with Marlo page, or when it's on with my boy Shiz Linsky from Off the Top Ropes. He brings it on his YouTube page, and I think also on his Twitch. We talk. I'm talking about this right here, guys. 3 podcasters in one. The Over the Top Ropes podcast mob host of himself, Shiz Blackheart Linsky, and obviously my boy Dre on Wheels from the 1130 podcast, and myself, Buzzing with Marlo. We put ourselves together, and we are called the Commission. 3 podcasters into one group, man. Every Wednesday we come on live, talk about the world of pro wrestling, the good and the bad. Let me say that again, the good and the bad. We don't just talk about one product, we talk about it all as a whole. We list it down and we finish it off talking about sports, guys. Check it out. If you're not even a fan of wrestling, check it out, man. We give out a lot of great knowledge, great feedback and stuff. And man, all 3 of us are characters. If you like the Skip and Shanahan ordeals, man, you will love it because me and my boy Shiz Lansky, we go at it. And Dre, and he has his moments where we just all have a great colliding when it comes to talking about pro wrestling. So, guys, check it out for Commission Talks, guys. I'm done babbling off. I want to simply once again say thank you to my boy Jay Lyric and his crew, the artists, everyone that we built into March 4th, man. All the promoting that we did, all the selling for tickets nonstop to make what we got out of that show, man, was just amazing. One Night in Harlem is one night that I'm never going to forget. Guys, if you haven't checked that out, the episode is in the links, man. Go check it out. I did a full live episode of that concert. We talked to Jay Lyric. We talked to all the awesome artists that were on. We even talked to his manager, Tip B. That was really cool chat we had with her. So awesome. We did an amazing draw for this concert alone, man. That was amazing. If you haven't, check it out. That was the episode for that week because it was on a Friday, and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. I like to do it. Let's do a live concert there, and we did it. And man, it was a great turnout and great results out of y'all. So shout out to y'all, guys. I say it numerous times, but I want to also remember everybody. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to all our platforms. YouTube, Facebook Live, Facebook, follow, do what you need to do. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. We are all active. Check them out on the Buzzing with Marlo pages. Guys, I appreciate everybody watching, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. And guys, time to get the send off. I will be back when we have more buzz down the road. See y'all next Friday.